What's up, gamers? This is Sega Man back here with another video. This is called A True Gamer's Story about my past. There was a friend I had named Tony. He was a cool dude, but he always tried to convince me to switch over to a system that he had, and was a hardcore system owner of the system of my choice at that time. But let me show you what I'm talking about, and then I'll tell you about the little story, old school story back in the day. My choice of system back then was the Sega Saturn. Okay? This is my second one. I have another one hooked up. I have two Sega Saturns. Okay? And I don't have the original of this system, but it is the PS1. This was his choice of system back in the days. He had the PS1. This is the little PS1 with the screen, but I don't have the original PlayStation 1. I thought I had one, but I might get one at a later time. I can get them real easy. But at the time, this was my system of choice, the Sega Saturn, and like I said, his was the Sony PlayStation 1. So, with this story, it's a little funny. Back in the day, I used to grind real hard on Sega Saturn. When PlayStation came out, it was killing Sega Saturn. It really was. You know what I mean? But at the time, when he got his regular PlayStation, it was kind of expensive. He worked at this place that made electronic sensors for doors, okay? And he knew this dude that modded PlayStations. He had 2 or 3 PlayStations modded, and the chips always blew out on it. But he played the hell out of his modded games, you know, his burnt games that he had. He always swore up and down that the PlayStation 1 was better than the Saturn. In some ways, it was. In one way, it wasn't. They didn't have the best 2D fighting games. The Sega Saturn definitely had the best 2D fighting games and shmups on it. That's a fact. In Japan and here, they had the best shoot-em-ups. Because I have shoot-em-ups for the PlayStation 1 and the Saturn. The Saturn was the best 2D fighting system at the time, and shoot-em-up at the time. The 3D fighting games were okay. The best fighting game that ever came out for the Saturn would be Virtual Fighter 2. Okay, and another one that came close to it, Last Bronx. Then you have Fighting Vipers, and then you have Fighting Megamix. That was okay. But when it came to like Tekken on the PlayStation, that was pretty good. Tekken games, 3D version was better than some of the 3D fighting games on the Saturn. That is true. But this is the best 2D fighting system ever made, was the Sega Saturn, in my opinion. So, to make a long story short, he had an apartment next to me, and he would always come knocking on my door. Do. What's up, dude? What are you doing, man? Be coming in, and I'd be playing my Sega Saturn. You know, I'd be playing Virtual Fighter or something like that. Or, let me see it. I was playing Children of the Atom, something like that. You know, he's like, I can't understand why you just don't get a PlayStation, man. It's so much better, man. It's better sound, better games, better racing games. And at the time, Gran Turismo is their best racing game of all time. In my opinion, the newer Gran Turismos can't touch Forza at all. Can't light a candle to it. But at the time, that was the best racing game for the PlayStation 1. Mine was Sega Rally and Sega Daytona. You know, and he always swore up and down, and it might have been better. It might have been better, you know, but I've tried to hit Gran Turismo on his PlayStation, and I didn't like it. I just didn't like Gran Turismo. I went back home, and I played my Sega Rally, and I played Sega Daytona. To me, they're better racing games than Gran Turismo. I know you guys might think I'm crazy for saying that. I try to get into Gran Turismo. I own Gran Turismo for the regular PlayStation that I can play on my PS2. And I have. And it's pretty good. But in my opinion, it's not better than the Sega racing games. You know, and I try to tell him that. And he'd be like, oh man, come on, you need to... And I told him, I said, why don't you buy me a PlayStation, man, and I'll play it. So he wouldn't say nothing after that. But he would always come over clowning me all the time about the system of my choice. And the whole narrow and point about this story is, with these newer systems that are out, don't let nobody decide for you what the best gaming system of your choice that you like. Either it be on YouTube or word of mouth. If you give those systems a try and you don't like it, you don't have to buy it. You know what I mean? I like Xbox. It's my choice of system. I've told you that in other videos. But the moral of the story is, guys out there that are true gamers, don't let nobody, the media, the gaming media, anybody tell you that the PlayStation 4 is better than the Xbox One, or the Xbox One is better than the PlayStation 4. The only way you can decide if it's better is on you experiencing both systems. If you choose to say that the Xbox One is better than the PlayStation 4, hey, that's great. You know what I mean? If you have both systems, I think you can say that. You know what I mean? If you don't have both systems, I don't think you can have an opinion about it. I'm being honest with you guys. I don't have a PlayStation 4. So I can't talk shit on it. You know what I mean? In the future, like I told you in another video, I might get a PlayStation 4, but I'm not getting a PlayStation 4 right now. Not for a long time. You know what I mean? I'm digging the Xbox One S. I'm loving it. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that the PlayStation 4 is not a good system. I don't know. I need to try it out. I'm not saying it's not good. I can't say that it's bad if I haven't tried it out. That's the moral of the story. I've seen gameplay of it in GameStop and people playing it. And there is games on there that look good. You know what I mean? But I will tell you one true thing about the reason why I don't really like the PlayStations that I like them. Okay, but I only like the PlayStations. The only thing I play on there is some of the old school fighting games on my PlayStation 2 and the shoot 'em ups. That controller to me is not really good for racing games and for regular shooters. You know, like Call of Duty or something like that. When I would play Resistance on my PlayStation 3, I beat all 3 games. But the shoot 'em, it just doesn't feel good as a shoot. It doesn't feel good for shooting games. It just doesn't. I know. I've tried them on my PlayStation 3. It was fine, but it is not, in my opinion, better for shooting games as the Xbox 360 and Xbox One controller. The Xbox One controller just feels better for racing games and shoot 'em ups and shooting games. It's just a better controller all around. It's more comfortable. The sticks are, I believe, are on the right place. Those 2 sticks that are on there, it doesn't feel right for shooter. It just doesn't. You know what I mean? That's my opinion. There are people that are PlayStation fans that are really good with those. I mean, and like I told you, I tried, but I just can't get into that controller, man. I just can't. You know what I mean? If I can find a controller that's similar, that looks like a Xbox controller, and play it on the PlayStations, I will, because it's just a better feeling controller for me. For me, you know. But like I told you, the little story, I never went over to the PlayStation 1. You know what I mean? He would always ask me to, and even when I got newer systems, like when he came over and seen the first Xbox, you know, he's like, oh yeah, it looks pretty cool, yeah, you know, and all. I mean, he wasn't really digging it because he's a Sony dude, and I think he still is. This was years ago. Yeah, I mean, he was still playing the PlayStation 2 when the original OG Xbox came out, but he was like, wow, man, did you get that? I'm like, yeah, dude, the controller is awesome. I love it. I love the original Xbox. Yeah, I mean, I think he was a little jealous, a little bit, but he'll always be a Sony fan, and that's cool. He's still my friend to this day. But the moral of the story is, guys out there, when you watch all these videos of people bashing the Xbox and trashing it and say that they have no games, or it's over for Xbox, it's not true. It's not over for Xbox at all whatsoever. It's still a great system. You know what I mean? And you need to give all these companies a chance. You know, that's what's cool about gaming, man. You need to experience all these different systems, man. Take it from a true gamer that has, if you look in the background, I have a lot of games and I have a lot of systems and I have games in front of me. I know. I'm not going to steer you wrong. If you ask my opinion on something that has to do with PlayStation, Nintendo, or Xbox, Sega, Genesis, whatever, I'll give you my honest opinion. You know what I mean? But don't ever let nobody decide for you or go with the masses and just bash one system. That's not cool, man. It's not good for gaming at all. It's not good for our community. We all got to come together, man, and stop bashing these systems. You know what I mean? Both systems offer different things that you might like. Everybody doesn't like all the same games, and I understand that. But just to bash Microsoft, just to bash them, it's just a terrible thing to do. You know what I mean? That's not right. You know, if you're a true gamer, you won't. If you're a true gamer, you won't. You can give your opinion on the games that you own and stuff like that. And if you don't like it, that's fine. But don't bash the whole system and everybody that likes that system. That's not cool. You know what I mean? You know, it's just not cool, guys. Well, I just wanted to give you that little old school story about me and my friend when he over to PlayStation and the Sega Saturn. But thanks for watching, guys, and also thank you for subscribing to my channel. I'll be doing some more pickup videos later. You know what I mean? I haven't been picking up much. You know, I have a huge backlog. I've just been playing games and working hard at work. You know what I'm saying? And doing some of these videos like showing you my collection. But I will come back with more pickup videos soon. You know, and also thank you for giving comments in the comment sections. And if you subscribe to me, I'll subscribe back to you. If you're a troll, like I always tell you guys, you'll get ignored and you'll get blocked, and your opinion on my channel will be erased, because I don't want none of that stuff on my channel at all anymore. I'm a positive, true gamer, and true gamers come to my channel and see what I do. You know what I mean? So shout out to them. Hope you guys have a good Memorial Day and a good week. All right, Sega Man out. Xbox Addict for life. Peace.